Hello guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. Still on my tool review. I told you it will be quite extensive. This time we're going to talk parting tools, I think. So let's get on. When I first started turning 9.5–10 years ago, I bought myself a set of cheap turning tools. It said there was high-speed steel, as you can see there. I'm not sure if it is high-speed steel. Didn't hold the edge very long. Basically, I still use this tool occasionally. I use it as a backup tool. If my other diamond parting tool's gone blunt or lost its edge slash, I'll reach for this one, and this might just finish the job off. But basically, compared to Robert Sorby, Henry Taylor, you know, stuff like that, it's pretty junk. It's not in the same league. Must have something to do with the heat treatment. I don't know. Right, next one. Another diamond parting tool. This time made by Crown of Sheffield. I think I've told you in past videos I'm not a great lover of Crown. I do have quite a few of the tools. You see, Crown make hundreds of different tools, and some of the tools that they make you can't find anywhere else. So basically that's why I've got a lot of Crown tools. But they're ball gougers, spindle gougers and that I'm not impressed with. I'm not impressed with this either. This is supposed to be Crown's cryogenic range. Don't know if you can see that. Am I impressed? No. Does it hold an edge any longer than normal heat treated M2 steel? In my opinion, no. Was it worth the extra? In my opinion, no. Maybe if it's, I mean, Henry Taylor's doing cryogenic steel, and that stuff is a lot better than this. I have got one or two excuse me, of their cryogenically treated tools, and they do hold an edge slightly longer. This, unfortunately, does not. It's not even a very good quality tool either. Personally, I'm not a big lover of Crown at all. Right, on to the next one. What shall we have? Yeah, this one. There we go, another Robert Sorby. Told you, big fan. This is a very thin, fluted parting tool. Now, basically, what I use this tool for is the initial pushing to the wood. The initial cut, so to speak. Other parting tools, they can leave fray. You know, when you push into the wood, it can fray the wood out. Well, this, because it's fluted, you get two. You'll not be able to see this because it's way too small. But you get two little sharp spurs, and it's those two sharp spurs that do the initial. They sever the wood fibres, and they don't sort of push them out of the way, they actually slice them. So that's what I use this for, the initial push into the cut. With it being wide, you can see it's much wider than a normal parting tool. You can't really push deep into wood because there's a lot of friction involved. Friction causes heat, and heat's not good on wood or tools. So I use it for the initial cut, and then basically this tool usually takes over. Made by Hamlet Craft Tools, which is basically Henry Taylor, made in the same factory. This is probably one of the most used tools in my shop. Or is it 3mm or 1/8 parting tool? I've had it 9 years, maybe longer. Use it every time I turn basically, and it's what, I maybe took 1/2 inch off it in length. Brilliant tool, highly recommended. Hamlet, by the way, they're cheaper than basically it's Henry Taylor make Hamlet tools, but Hamlet are always cheaper than if you buy Henry Taylor tools. So there's another tip. You know, if you can't quite afford Henry Taylor tools, buy an Hamlet, because it basically is an Henry Taylor tool. There you go. Next up, beading / parting tool. This started life off, Robert Sorby again. This started life off as a Bedan, but I couldn't really get that to work properly. So basically a Bedan is, instead of it having 2 angles, this is just flat and you have the one angle coming up. So I just basically ground a second angle on it and turned it into a beading / parting tool. Works really well. You've got to be careful, it's quite wide, so you know, it's a lot of steel on wood, it can tend to snag. Got to be careful with it, but when used properly, very, very useful. Next, let's have a look. This, another crown tool. Bought this when I first got turning, and this actually has it's earned its coin as such, as we like to say in England. It has actually been a decent tool. Rosewood handle, brass pins. It's not actually too bad. The steel's not too bad either, although it's been ground many times in different forms and whatnot. It started off, how did it start off? It started off straight like that with one angle there, if you can imagine that. Didn't like it, so I ground it to this angle. Works well, again with it being wide, or / deep I should say. You've got to be careful. You know, you can't push into the wood too far, otherwise it'll bind up because of the friction, and friction causes heat. Wood and metal doesn't like heat. Got another one of those types. This is a basically guess. I bet you guess who makes this? Begins with an R. That's right, Robert Sorby. I bought this one, liked the way it cuts, so that's why I made the crown into a similar style blade. They work really well. The only drawback is you can't push in too deep, otherwise they'll bind up and create heat. But they work really well. Very nice tool. I think that's about it for parting tools. I've gone through them quite briskly, because basically you know what a parting tool is. It parts off wood. There isn't a great deal really to explain about them, is there? They do the job. Some of them do it better than others. As I say, the cheap one I got, it got me into wood turning, but now, you know, it's used as a last backup tool. You know, if all my other parting tools are blunt, I'll reach for this, and that's the only time it gets used. It's not in the same league as Henry Taylor or Sorby or whoever. And this Cryogenic from Crown, can't recommend it at all. Doesn't hold an edge any longer, and it costs more. Right, we call it that. I hope you'll join me on the next one. Catch you later.